Martin, weekdays from 11 to 1. It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here is your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Wolosha.
Welcome in on a really wonderful Wednesday. We got a packed show as always. Dennis Philippi and his perspective in just about 6 minutes. Joe Dank on the business of sports. We talk NCAA numbers and a whole lot more. We got the round table. Tulsa is in the NIT Final Four. It was a packed house at Tulsa last night. They were playing Wichita. So you knew an American team was going to make the Final Four in Indy. We'll talk on the roundtable with Bruce Howard, their voice on that. Corey Glore will join us as he always does. We've only got 2 more weeks of the roundtable. So the news finally came. No more Ja. He's out for the year. Probably out of this city, too. That will remain to be seen. So Ja played in the last 3 years. That would be 82 times 3 is 246 games. Ja played 79 games in 3 years. He got an elbow sprain on the night of January the 21st. By the way, he came back and finished that game. He took the game-winning shot. Didn't make it, but he took the game-winning shot on January 21st. He's not been seen since then. He got a platelet-rich plasma injection, which basically, and I used to do spots for this, and I had it done, and I thought it was somewhat effective. Of course, he got this really late, maybe just a little recently, but he got this thing. It was called something differently at the time, but basically, they take your own blood and they spin it, getting more oxygen in the blood, I guess, and then they inject it back into your bloodstream in the area where your injury has taken place. So they're putting it back in his elbow. He should be recovered completely by next year, if he isn't already. But where next year? 2 seasons left on his contract, worth $87 million. So he's going to be okay. But Brandon Clark also shut down. We know all the other players that are shut down. Basically, what you see on the floor in this tank process is the Memphis Hustle. That's the roster that you are seeing, and that's why they've lost 10 of their last 11. In the meantime, we get this news, and it's really more about Cade Cunningham. But the NBA Players Union is griping, and they've got a gripe here. They want to change that 65-game rule. Now, to me, you got the 2 extremes. On one side, you got the Cade Cunningham case, and that's wrong. This guy played 61 games. He's got a collapsed lung. He shouldn't suffer. That's legit. Then you got the John Morant thing. 79 games, 3 years. How many of those are really legit? How legit is an elbow sprain on January the 21st and you never see the light of day? That's what the rule's all about. Where is there something in between? We may talk with Joe Dank a little bit about that. Tiger Woods returned. He was okay, but he's not sure about playing at Augusta. He missed a short putt last night, about a 3.5-footer. That hurt his team's cause. He then flew a 110-yard shot with a wedge over the green. Okay, he's a little rusty. He did have 176-mile velocity. That's like a 25-year-old, 30-year-old. That was pretty impressive. But in the end, the bottom line is he's not sure if he's going to come to the Masters. Well, he'll be at the Masters. He said, I'll be there. I'll be there for the Champions Dinner. I'm sure he'll be a headliner for press conferences. I don't know if he'll have anybody playing in the father's kid thing anymore because his kids are too old. But he'll be there. But the way he talked last night made me think he's not going to play. Tiger baseball. How about the crowd at FedEx Park on South Campus? Now, granted, there were a lot of Ole Miss fans, but there were plenty of Tiger fans. It was a great atmosphere, I'm told. The Tigers win 6-2 over the 18th-ranked Rebels. They held Ole Miss to only 4 hits. They actually had not pitch counts, but out limits. So some pitchers could only pitch 3 outs, some pitched 6 outs. They used a whole bunch of pitchers, and they shut down a hard-hitting Rebel team. It's the highest-ranked win since the Tigers beat 9th-ranked ECU in a conference game back in 2021, so 5 years ago. It's the last time they beat a ranked team. It's the first time they've won against a ranked team since Matt Reiser became the coach 3 years ago. So now they're 7-16, and he says he's hoping that this is a confidence builder. They do have a chance in a good league. They're 1-2, so maybe they can turn it around from under that. But that was the best thing could have happened in Memphis baseball. That is for sure. All right, college basketball really quick. Hubert Davis fired after going 24-9 this year, and that was without his clearly best player, maybe the first player taken in the draft, Caleb Wilson. You know they have high expectations there because he was 24-9 without his best player. Now, he did blow a big lead against VCU in their loss in the NCAA tournament. I think he had a 19-point lead at one point. So that hurt. He's got a top 10 class coming in. Listen to this, folks. The guy is family, right? And he was 125-54, 70%. He made the NCAA tournament 4 out of 5 years. Not good enough. So he still wants to coach, so you know he's forced out. They're going to honor his contract, so that's good. But he's out. And now who do they replace him with? And the conjecture is they're going to go outside of the family. I've heard some crazy things. Coaches that are in the NBA. One's a GM in the NBA. So we'll see. We'll see exactly where they will go. Billy Donovan, if you could get him away, that would be pretty good, except the Bulls play until April 12th. What are you going to do? You can't wait that long. So we shall see how all of that plays out. Oh, and look who's in the portal. Rowan Brambaugh. So, would you rather have the Tulane point guard who was a Tiger killer? He just beat the heck out of Memphis. I think his average was up because of his games against Memphis. Or if you had a shot at P.J. Haggerty, which player would you, or a new GM, or Penny Hardaway, or Ed Scott, or Tim Duncan, who are all going to be in on this choice, who would you go after if you were them? I'm going to ask you that, Logan Schmidt. Landon
Didn't know
Schmidt.
I got a new nickname today.
Landon Schmidt. I don't know why I changed your name. I am sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Schmidt. Who would you go with?
Is both an option?
Both.
Both is good.
Can you afford that, especially if you've got to pay for a big guy? You need a Dane Danger-like guy,
You need a big
rebounder, big guy.
But we also need shooters.
Yeah. Well, I do think of the supply chain. I think, and I believe if you look at guys that like South Florida got, and Enos, who's a pretty good player, and Pena, or you look at Barnstable at Tulsa, okay? I think that's a supply that is somewhat plentiful. If you look around, you can go like they did. Barnstable started at Division III, then he was at Division II before he got the gig at Tulsa. You can find shooters. It's harder to find really good point guards who can coordinate and score. It's really even harder to find big guys that are like Dane Danger.
Yeah.
So I think you got to start there, and then you can spend money. You don't have to spend as much. You can find shooters, in my opinion, and they need to. They haven't had great shooters in a long time. And if you're counting, and I was listening to Greg and Eli this morning, if you're going to count on Barry or Thedford to be your shooters, you got a problem. Barry was very disappointing. I mean, he was a streaky guy at Temple, but he didn't have very many good streaks in a Memphis uniform. So we shall see about that for sure. In the meantime, we've changed time zones.
It's time for Dennis on Dave. Dennis on Dave. Dennis on Dave.
Welcome to Dennis on Dave.
Who would you take?
I would definitely go for both. I'm with Landon on that completely. That's exactly what I was thinking. Go for both. But what was cracking me up, listening to Greg and Eli on the way in, and then listening to you guys just now, it's like, well, what do the Tigers need? Point guard, shooters, bigs. That's all you have on a basketball team. So I mean, the Tigers need everything. They go after every player they can find.
They lost more games than they have in 56 years. They do need everything.
They need everything.
And I think I've stated pretty clearly, on a team that's the worst team in 56 years, you don't bring everybody back that you could.
You don't hardly anybody back. I hated the turnover of 15 new players, but at this point, do you really care about any of the guys?
I think 4 or 5 is fair.
Tops.
Yeah.
Absolutely tops. Really, 2 or 3 is what we should be looking at.
I think they're going to bring back more than that.
And, well, it's a disaster. And what we wouldn't give to have 70% winning for the Tigers. What we wouldn't give to go 4 out of 5 years, go to the tournament. What we wouldn't give to have to go 2-2 in the tournament. We would give anything to have that. We would throw a parade for a coach who would get us that. So what you were talking with Ja, essentially that is what in cycling is doping. It's the same thing. Where they're enriching their blood with more oxygen.
Yeah,
That's illegal in cycling, but that's what they were doing with Ja.
Well, you know what, though? There's a difference, in my opinion. If you're totally healthy and you do that to get a competitive edge, that's called a performance-enhancing drug or performance-enhancing advantage. If you, and this was an argument I would have made for Doug Barron many, many years ago. He took testosterone, which became illegal. And remember, he actually won a lawsuit against the PGA because they were suspending him. He was doing that to become normal. He and both Sean McKeel had a testosterone deficiency. They weren't trying to get an advantage. They were trying to get normal. That's the same case with this. If you've got an injured limb and you're trying to heal it quicker and you put platelets in, not to get an advantage, but to become normal, I don't see how you should be penalized for that.
I wasn't saying he should be penalized. I'm just saying that's basically the same thing. It's sort of a parade of idiots from the NFL. I don't know if you saw this, but the running back Cam Scatabo for the Giants is an imbecile. He, in a press conference, just casually said that he doesn't believe that CTE or asthma exist.
What?
That's right. This is a running back, the guy one of the players that is most likely to suffer head injuries, doesn't believe that CTA exists, doesn't believe that asthma exists. They're both excuses for being lazy. This is what he said. They're excuses for being lazy. Asthma, he said, was like, this is a quote, yeah, you're like literally like breathing air.
Did he graduate from Arizona State?
I don't think enough air is getting to Scadabo's head. And he's a running back. He's going to end up eating these words about CTE because he's going to have...
Maybe he's already got it.
I think he may have already suffered a few head injuries. Speaking of stupid Giants, edge rusher Abdul Carter, he's changed his jersey number for the second time. He wore 51 as a rookie, and now he's going to wear 3. He was taken 3rd in the draft. But he asked Lawrence Taylor, when he came into the league as a Giant, he asked Lawrence Taylor if he could wear 56. Would Lawrence Taylor be willing to unretire his jersey for a rookie edge rusher? And of course, Lawrence Taylor told him to get bent. So then he wanted to wear his college number, which was 11, which of course was Phil Simms' retired number. Phil Simms, to his credit, didn't care. He said, yeah, you want to wear 11? I don't care. And it was Phil Simms' family who vetoed it.
Wow.
Who went, Dad, no, you're not letting this idiot wear your jersey. It's retired for a reason. And then another NFL idiot, wide receiver T.Y. Hilton, announced the other day that he's retiring from the NFL. T.Y. Hilton has not played in an NFL game or been on an NFL roster in 5 years. He last played in the NFL in 2022 for Dallas. But he announced he's retiring. After 5 years of not playing in the NFL, he's retiring. A guy that we thought might retire, Travis Kelce, inked a 3-year deal with the Chiefs worth $53 to $57 million. Travis Kelce is 36 years old.
Yeah,
His fiance is a billionaire. he is not going to be playing in the NFL for 3 more years.
You know, I looked up because I was curious. You know he's got to sign a prenup, right?
I assume they will.
I mean, yeah. She's worth $1.5 billion or $2 billion now, and she's only going to keep making more money.
Yeah. Did you look up his net worth?
His net worth is like $30 million.
I would have guessed 60, but yeah, $30 million. Yeah, but of course, that's ashtray change to her.
Right. So by the time he retires from this, he'll be worth $50 million.
Yeah. She spends that on hats. So
can you imagine what that life is like? But there's no way he's going to go to 39. Just no way.
There's absolutely no way. I honestly thought he was going to retire this year. I thought this was going to be it for him. But maybe next year do a victory lap. I could see that, but 3 years.
Well, you know what? I don't blame him for wanting to come back because they got Mahomes. They just signed a backup. They've got a running back now. They're going to be good.
I don't know if that's true. Mahomes is old, and that is an injury that never really heals. He's not going to ever be the Patrick Mahomes that we loved watching play for the Chiefs.
Know.
No, he's not going to suddenly turn back time.
How old is he?
He's early 30s, and that's everybody goes off a cliff after 30 in the NFL, with few exceptions.
I'll tell you, Tom Brady didn't.
Oh, but Tom Brady's killing it in flag football.
I know. I knew you'd bring that up.
Oh, that's not even in my notes because flag football is so stupid. This is a sad story. Left fielder Gavin Lux, who played for the Reds, and he's just been traded to the Tampa Rays, has shrunk 3 inches.
Boy, that's hard to do at that age.
What it is Gavin Lux was listed at 6'2", but the ABS system doesn't go from your listed height. It goes from your actual height, and his actual height is 5'11". He was listing himself at 6'2", and he's 5'11". You can get away. Every guy exaggerates an inch.
Sure.
Every guy adds an inch, but you can't get away with adding 3 inches.
Well, here's the thing. The unintended consequences of ABS means we're really going to get the true dimensions.
We're finding out how tall these guys really are.
That's like when college players go to the combine in Chicago, and you find out when they take their shoes off, really they give you their actual height. They all shrink 3-4 inches.
Yeah, this guy was. I list myself as 6 feet. I was 6 feet when I had hair. Now I'm 5'11 and a half. But I'm going to give myself 6 feet.
I'm going to question the 5'11 and a half, but that's okay.
I am. No, I'm 5'11 and a half. I am.
Oh, yeah?
Get out the tape measure, pal.
Let's go, baby.
I'm certainly not trying to add 3 inches. Gabriel Landeskog. I always have to find a name that I have trouble pronouncing.
I think you sold me on the pronunciation.
Gabriel Landeskog, he missed significant time playing for the Avalanche in the NHL due to a mystery illness, which the Avalanche were very cagey about. They wouldn't say what exactly was his injury. He has recently admitted that he had to have surgery to, and this is a direct quote, fix some things because he caught a puck right in the fuse box that left a significant dent in his cup. Ooh. Every man listening is wincing right now. A significant dent in his cup.
That is a tough image to.
He had to have surgery, dude. He had to have surgery from catching a puck, just right in Grand Central.
He's okay.
He's not okay. He's never going to be 100%. He's never going to be the player that he used to be. And the Brewers, you'll find this as an announcer. You'll find this interesting. The Brewers are playing a spring training game, and a piece of paper flew out of the booth, and it stuck to the backstop. It turned out it was their disclaimer, and these guys are saying, well, if we can't read the disclaimer, we're in big trouble. You know what I'm talking about. The disclaimer they have to read in every single major league game. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Milwaukee Brewers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated in any form without the express written consent of the Milwaukee Brewers. These guys have to read this every single game.
Usually you tape them now, and so they just get brought in.
If you have to say it 162 times a year, you should have it memorized.
Yeah.
Instead, a camera guy had to zoom in on the piece of paper that was stuck by the wind to the backstop, and these guys read it off of a monitor.
What did the radio guys do?
It's we're the radio guys.
Oh,
Or maybe they were the TV guys. Actually, I honestly don't know. But it seems like they should have that memorized by now. Interesting note in the NBA, the Miami Heat waited until Eric Spoelstra's divorce was final before they gave him a $120 million extension. So
Very smart.
So he wouldn't have to share it with his wife. They knew what was coming up. And I just saw this. And this was, I'd never seen this before. Newest stupid sport for active seniors, I guess to possibly replace paddleball, is foot golf. Have you seen this?
No.
It's exactly what it sounds like.
I'm interested.
It's exactly what it sounds like.
Kick a ball around?
It's kicking a ball, basically kicking a soccer ball into a hole, just sort of like golf, sort of.
It gets intense.
It doesn't get intense?
It gets very intense.
You've seen it?
People take it very seriously.
So is there rough? Is there sand?
It's basically a golf. It's a golf course, but the holes are huge, and
it's like the size of a manhole.
Yeah,
or bigger.
Yeah, and it gets pretty serious.
I saw a clip of it. I haven't actually ever seen it before.
Where do you play it? We don't have one here.
I think there is.
Is Riverside? Maybe they're doing that with
Riverside. I think you can look it up. They have a few locations.
Ask Mickey next time he's on.
Yeah.
And finally, Brock Lesnar, the legendary wrestler and UFC fighter, he has a signature sword tattoo on his chest, which he recently admitted he has no memory of getting. He said,
"How drunk was that?"
Well, he said it was a combination of, and again I'm quoting, a gallon of vodka and maybe a few Vicodin.
I can believe that.
Man. Brock Lesnar, I believe anything of Brock Lesnar.
I don't know how you lived through that.
Well, he was kind of dumbed out. That's how he lived.
Oh, my God.
And finally, happy opening day.
Happy opening day. Yankees
Giants.
And it's on Netflix.
That's tonight. And then, which that enrages me. But I have often thought, I've said this a million times, that I think opening day should be a national holiday. There are two sports holidays that I think we should have. Opening day of baseball should be a national holiday, and the day after the Super Bowl.
Opening day at Wrigley Field, all these kids used to take off. If you were in the neighborhood, everybody would take off. But by the way, I can't believe that Eric Spoelstra's wife's divorce lawyer is not calling right now. She's going after a portion of that.
It was the divorce was final. It doesn't make any difference if it was 30 seconds ago. Once the divorce is final, that's it. And this is money that he's going to be making. This is money he's going to be making going forward, not money that he made during the marriage.
Right, but he earned that money while the marriage was still going on.
I don't think that's true.
No, he gets that extension based on performance.
He may have deserved to get this money while he was married, but he didn't get the money while he was married.
Let's see how that one plays out.
She's not going to get a dime of it.
I don't know about that.
They waited for a reason. And he's going to get
that's cagey, but I'm not sure it'll be successful. We'll see.
I'm sure he has a fine attorney. There's a lot of good attorneys in Miami.
That is brought to you by Dinstall's, and the voting is continued. We've gone from the Sweet 16 to round 2. It's the Elite 8. We got Cashew Crunch. We got Pecan Brittle. We got Fudge. We got Turtlettes. We got Caramels. We got Raspberries. We got Strawberries. I think this comes down to Cashew Crunch and Strawberries. You can vote on Facebook. It's really terrific. Or maybe, I'm not sure you can do this, but maybe you can go into the store and vote if you're not a Facebook person. And you got 5 locations to vote on what you think is the best candy that Dinstall's has. That's like almost choosing which is your favorite kid, as far as I'm concerned, because they're all so good. The 5 locations, Germantown and Collierville, that's in the burbs. They've got one downtown. They got it in my neck of the woods in Laurelwood. That, by the way, does pretty good business. And then there's the one where they make the candy, the big place. That is on Pleasant View. Go vote. Or just do it on Facebook. What's the best Dinstall's candy? I'm urging somewhere between Crunch and Strawberries. Either way, you can't lose. Just vote on your favorite Dinstall's. We take a break. Our favorite GM, that's Joe Dank on the Business of Sports. He comes your way in a minute.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Air. We breathe it naturally. Simple, right? Not so fast. The air you breathe could be hazardous to your health. Don't guess. Be sure with a phone call to the Memphis Mold Inspector, the only licensed mold assessor in the Mid-South. Call the Memphis Mold Inspector to check the air quality inside your home and office. Protect babies, pets, new homes, old homes, employees, friends, loved ones, and you. Just call 901-292-7788 for clean air and peace of mind. 901-292-7788 for the Memphis Mold Inspector.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. I wanted to take a minute and discuss advertising with you. There are so many websites that list the best service provider in your area. Even the BBB has an accredited list. You know the one thing they all have in common? A company like mine has to pay to get on that list. So that begs the question, can those lists be trusted? You know what can be trusted? History. We've been around for almost 30 years providing customers with the best service and the best products that we possibly can. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call. We'll come talk to you and let you decide for yourself whether or not we know what we're talking about. Fiveash Roof Services. Best products, best warranties, and in many cases, the best price. We're fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Sitting in the Family Leisure Studios, you got a few more days to cash in on the floor model sale. You know they're moving things out. They got to make room. Spring things are coming in, and it is spring now. So they're going to give you deep discounts on hundreds of in-stock display models. I'm talking hot tubs, swim spas, cold plunges, all the newest stuff. They're brand new, but because they're moving stuff in, they got to move this stuff out. You get discounts that I'm not even allowed to talk about. They're that good. Go see Lindsay. She owns the place. Go see Billy. He's the star salesman. Ask about these discounts. Tell them we sent you. You might get even something of value. And cash in while you can. There's going to be a big chemical sale, just letting you know. That's coming in April, but you can still get your real money's worth on this in-stock floor model sale going on right now at Family Leisure. This time of the week, we always talk the business of sports with Joe Dank, the former GM of Channel 24 and 30, a guy who has produced many a television sports broadcast and produced it as well. And let's start with the ratings of the NCAA. They were pretty good last year, and they're up another 5 or 6%.
Yeah, they're up. In fact, it's a record year so far, so it's a good year. And through Sunday, through the second round now, the average window is doing 10.1 million viewers.
Wow.
Now, keep in mind, this is interesting because in these first 2 weekends, we have games going on all at the same time on different places. So it's an aggregated number. But nevertheless, 10.1 million is the average. That is, as you say, through the first 2 rounds, and it's the best it's ever been. The most watched window at this point was Sunday afternoon, and that was a good window, the one where St. John's was playing. It moved right into the Iowa game. Tennessee and Virginia got a piece of that as well. That slot averaged 19.7 million,
wow.
And that was up 29% from last year. So it was those were great games all happening, kind of overlapping at that time.
Do you think, because we all talk about how we love Cinderellas, but, I wonder if these numbers bear out that we like brand names, because this is a pretty chalky tournament. Honestly, that's why so many people are doing so well in their brackets. Do you think it's because we're on so much chalk here with so many brand names that's the reason why the numbers are so good?
Multiple factors. Maybe more important is the games were really good. I mean, the Iowa Florida thing was terrific. I mean, that was just a great finish. That was so interesting to watch them try to take them on, completely outcoach a guy. If you like anything about basketball where you actually coaching matters and you run plays and you don't have talent equal to the opposition and you find a way to beat them, that's the best example you're ever going to see. It's amazing. So that was a great game. St. John's in Kansas stayed close, but it was as bad a basketball game as you could have. These guys were throwing the balls.
I know, but
they
if
were
you
throwing
want drama,
inbound passes out of bounds on the fly. It was, at one point somebody said, it might have been Greenberg on ESPN. He said to set back the game of basketball decades. I mean, and that was the epitome to me of the modern era. Grab as many guys as you can. Don't care if they play well together. Don't do anything. Just see if they can outplay the other team. You throw the ball out there and those two guys watch, and that's kind of what it was. It was that bad.
Well, to me, the epitome of it is you've got these two Hall of Fame coaches, correct?
Yeah, and they weren't coaching.
And, Bill Self masterminds. He's got all these fouls to give, and he masterminds from 16 seconds on a 3.9. So they don't have that much time to use. I mean, I thought he did a brilliant bit of coaching right there. And then they inbound the ball, and this guy who had not scored a point the whole game drives straight line to the rim and scores the winner. The worst defense. You had your guys back to the guy. I mean, that was unreal.
Well, I was going to say, sometimes a coach might say protect the goal.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
you don't have to be a Hall of Famer to do that.
Now, compare that, though, to what Iowa did on the last play. They did that on purpose, and they ran a perfect play. They won the game because the guy called the play and his kids ran it. It was great. But, again, Dave, I think one other thing that this weekend might have shown, and it is the best viewed in history, I would hope, I doubt that this would ever happen, but I would hope that this could put to rest any talk of expanding the field.
I agree. I don't think you should. You've got a winner here.
Exactly.
No matter what number you assign, some people are going to be sad they didn't make it. It's just the way it is. You've got to have a number where it cuts off, and I think it's such a workable thing right now. And they did jiggle it so it was a little more with the first four. I think the first four numbers were probably pretty good. You had a couple of brand names in there. I mean, look, Texas is still in. So I don't know if you have those particular numbers, but I'm with you. They've already jiggled it once. It's worked okay. Don't mess anymore with it.
Well, so here's the interesting thing now that you do mention the first four. The Miami-Ohio SMU game. Miami of Ohio became a bit of a story and a bit of a darling nationally. Everything else, that was an interesting game. They played a great game. That did 2.8 million viewers. Best first four game ever.
Wow.
Plus 17% versus last year. So
that was better than Texas?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Texas was 11-11, right? I mean, and that is the thing. And that's the danger, and that's what the expansion is, just more teams who finish deep in a power conference. They're not bringing in any more Miami of Ohio's into this thing. We're not getting any more mid-majors into this thing. So, please keep it. Please keep it the way it is.
That gets us to the. I mean, this is. I said chalky. It's all Power Five.
Right.
If you count the Big East, and you should, as a Power Five grouping. So in the Sweet 16, 6 Big Ten. They're clearly the deepest conference. 4 SEC, 3 Big 12, 2 Big East. The one's powerful ACC down to just 1. But every one of those Power Five.
Well, let's talk for a minute about how that translates, okay? Because there is this thing in lots of things where the rich get richer, right?
Yeah.
And a week ago we talked about you're playing for units. And every time a team wins a game, you win a unit. And what's that unit worth? $2 million. Here are the real standings, if you will,
of
the
this.
NCAA tournament. Southeast Conference earned 23 units thus far. Do the math.
46
million. Big Ten right behind with 22 units, 44 million. The Big 12 has 17 units, 34 mil. ACC in there with $26 million. The Big East, 3 teams, 7 units, $14 million. Now, West Coast Conference, they got 4 units, so they got $8 million out of it. The A10, 2 teams total, but 4 units, $8 million. Mid-America Conference had 2 teams. They got 3 units at $6 million. Here's the thing. Everybody else is a single bid conference.
$2
million. And that includes the American, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
So,
although USF was, they were the darling of everybody that thought they'd get Louisville. They gave them a good game.
But you think about how you contemplate competing. And so out of this gigantic NCAA tournament with $270 million in prize money, the American gets $2 million. And the SEC right now has 46, and they're not done. They're not done. They're
not
playing
done.
more games.
That's right.
So it's really tough.
It's big money, no doubt about it. Speaking of big money, what are the ticket prices to go to the NCAAs?
So look, you look at these regionals, and again, we talk about things that are attractive. If you wanted to go to D.C. this weekend to see that regional, you're going to see UConn against Michigan State, Duke against St. John's.
I know.
Now think of those coaches alone. This is a great four, and as of Monday, the get-in price on StubHub anywhere in that gym is $536. That's the most expensive in a long time. That's the most expensive this year, but you can't get in for less than $536.
Is that face value ticket?
No. That's StubHub. That's get in.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's third party stuff.
Do you know what just the original NCAA distributed ticket that
Probably in the neighborhood of $150.
Okay.
$150. Houston is the Houston again. That has kind of this dream matchup for some in some parts of the country. Nebraska plays Iowa. Freddie Hoiberg coaches Nebraska.
2 Big Ten teams.
But he was a superstar at Ames High School in Iowa.
Right.
There's a kid on Nebraska who played 3 years for Iowa. This is Nebraska, Iowa at Houston. And then the real deal, Illinois plays Houston. It'll cost you almost $500 to get in there, $477. The United Center, place we know well in Chicago. Michigan is there. They're playing Bama. Iowa State is playing Tennessee, $334.
Well, that's a bargain.
Here's the real
Compared to
bargain.
the other.
If there is a bargain, David, it's in San Jose, Purdue in Texas, Arizona, Arkansas, $250. You're in the door.
I'm shocked that that's every one of these games, though. Think about it. How good they are.
That's what I'm saying. They're just so attractive, aren't they?
Yeah.
And that's why you say, is it that, we think we're going to get really great games out of these.
Oh, no doubt.
And I think you are.
I think you're going to get great numbers, too. All right. Last thing. I brought this up earlier. This is not a numbers thing. This is your opinion. I think the NBA's got a real dilemma here. Cade Cunningham has 61 games in. The guy's an all-NBA player. He's part of the reason why Detroit is so good this year and leading the Eastern Division.
Right.
But he got a collapsed lung. That is serious, ladies and gentlemen. There's a good chance he will not play the rest of the year. By the league rule, 65 games is what you must play in order to get your postseason awards, all NBA, all defense, whatever it may be, and there's a number of awards. Some contracts, many contracts, are based on you winning those awards. 65 games you got to play in order to be eligible. That rule came about a few years ago. Now they're saying, and the Cade Cunningham case is legit, that's not right. But then on the other side, you've got John Morant, who's played 20 games this year, 79 games the last 3 years. He got a elbow sprain on January the 21st. By the way, played the end of that game, and he's not seen the floor since. And now they're coming up with this platelet thing, which is, window dressing, to not play anymore. Because they're tanking. They don't want him to play anymore. They want to get rid of him. We know that. But there is somewhere in between, because there's plenty of teams. Giannis wants to play in Milwaukee. They won't let him play because they're in the tank too. There's 10 teams, a third of the league, that's tanking to try to get balls, ping pong balls, for this great draft, the best in years. What do you do here? And this is going to be tested. Because they're going to question people. They're going to have to amend this rule somehow, some way. It's not fair for Cade Cunningham, but it's not fair for fans. And this is the reason they put this in, to make you play 65 games a year. The Ja case is absolutely 180 from the Cade Cunningham case.
Right. There's little similarity between those two. Look, the NBA just has a terrible dilemma, if not a catastrophic problem on its hands, and that is the best guys don't play enough. You can talk to anybody. You go to a Grizzly game, go to season tickets. We have a half pack, and you talk to people, and you get to the game, and the best guy is not playing from the opposition, and Ja has only played so little, and you're going, what did I pay for here tonight? I want to see the best players. The rule was designed not to penalize guys who got injured, but to discourage people from sitting out. And so that was a problem. Now, in Cunningham's case, he was injured he played 61 of their 68 games at the time of the injury. That's 90%. So he was on pace to make 73 games. As you suggest, he had an absolutely legitimate injury. And so he's not going to qualify for this minimum because of that. I think there could be, and if not, there should be room within the context of that rule and its intent for a one-time waiver based on this particular case.
Or change the number to a sliding scale based on maybe percentage.
Well,
so what is 65 of 82, whatever that percentage is, go on a sliding scale when the major incident occurs, if it's a legit injury, and go from that.
Well, but remember, the intent of the rule was not to penalize people who got injured late in the season.
Right.
The intent of the rule is to discourage guys not playing when they could.
Correct.
That's the key to the whole thing. And so, and a lot of guys were taking, they could take time off. They could take, you just think back when we were kids. And I mean, think back when Jerry Sloan and Bob Love played for the Bulls and you watched a game. Guys had heavy wraps on the thigh all the time. They had knee wraps. They did everything. And I heard you and Pete last week.
I was just going to say,
Pete was so good on this, and I've been talking this amongst. It's how they play. You cannot play every second of every game like it's the last 2 minutes of a 1-point game and expect that the human body's going to hold up under those conditions. Now, I don't know how you'll ever change that. That became a coaching thing. That became a physical thing. But the pace of play has changed. The style of plays has changed. Everything else. But God still makes the human body the same way he did before. I don't think he changed. And until he does, I don't think the body can hold up. And that's the problem.
I think it's then more about substitutions and less minutes per shift like they do in hockey. That may be your answer.
But that's not the answer we want, because look at the box score now for the Grizzlies, because they're just playing it out. Everybody plays 20 minutes.
Right.
Nobody wants that. I mean, we want Wemby to play 35 minutes if you're buying a ticket to go see them. Nobody wants shifts because we don't want to see 7 through 12 play equal time.
I think
Nobody's
what you
paying
got to
money
figure
for
out
that.
what's the fair amount of a length of shift that allows you until the very end of the game. Then the end of the game is the end of the game. Something's got to happen because there are too many injuries, and it seems logically pace of play is a factor in all of this. As always, my friend, thank you much. Job brought to you by Memphis Public Links. Have you seen what they've done everywhere? I mean, the new Pine Hill, and they got this new tournament, this 3 different kinds of format coming up April the 18th. It's a fantastic tournament. fantastic at Pine Hill. Check with those people. It's called the TriStar. Then you've got the driving range. Oh, my gosh. Mickey let us know what's going on. Golf is up everywhere, and part of that is because public golf is so good. If you haven't played Overton, if you haven't played Pine Hill, if you haven't played the new Audubon, they're all new. By the way, the links at Fox Meadow way up too, because it's in great shape. Go check out public golf. You'll thank me later. We're heading to New Orleans and to Tulsa. Momentarily, the roundtable comes your way in just a minute.
You have opinions?
I think it's over.
Of course you do.
I don't think it's that simple.
Everyone does.
I got all the answers.
Hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255.
Hi, fellas. Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers. Christmas and Valentine's Day have come and gone, but you know that at some point you'll need to make your favorite lady happy on her anniversary or her birthday, or just because you want her to know how special and important she is. At Russell Brothers, we've been helping gentlemen for over 5 decades do just that. When a gift-giving occasion arises, we're here to help you. Magnificent diamond rings, beautiful necklaces, shimmering gemstone bracelets. So much to choose from, and the possibilities are endless. At Russell Brothers, you can always know that if you surprise her and she'd rather have something else, we're happy to exchange or refund your money within 30 days. Beauty, value, quality, and service are the things that set Russell Brothers apart from other jewelers. Come see us at Russell Brothers Jewelers, 4646 Poplar. Let us help you say you're the best to that wonderful lady in your life.
Listen up, Rebel fans. Your next winning drive starts at Landers Ford in Collierville. Their game plan is simple. Find you the most savings possible. Make a trade, lower your payments, or let them buy your vehicle even if you don't buy from them. That's how you keep moving the chains. Just like the Grove on game day. Fans all across the Mid-South keep coming back to the #1 Ford dealership in Greater Memphis. See them today in Collierville or online at LandersFordMemphis.com. When you own a Landers Ford, you get the support of a certified service tech with the Landers Ford Remote Service Experience Program. They pick it up, drop it off, or fix it on the spot, so you're never left watching from the sidelines. To finish the drive, the iconic Landers Easy Pass always brings more for your trade and the biggest discounts to put you in victory formation. And now, straight from the 1977 Ole Miss football team that took down #1 ranked Notre Dame, the final snap of the day from Landers Ford President Don Kitchens.
If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
As reported on Ford's 2024 Total New Vehicle Retail Sales Report, Memphis Market.
Progressive's accident response can detect and send help when you need it most, after a major car accident. But other accidents, you're on your own. Like when you accidentally call your wife Mom. When you accidentally say Happy Holidays on someone's birthday. When you accidentally wave at someone you thought was waving at you. We can't help with those accidents, but Progressive's accident response provides peace of mind after major car accidents. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Limited availability in California. Driver is responsible for emergency and towing charges not covered by the policy.
Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis has serious vans for serious work. At 4430 American Way, they are the Mid-South source for cargo, passenger, crew vans, and custom chassis. Need one or a full fleet? New or used? They've got it. With fleet solutions and custom upfits. Certified techs keep you moving with fast maintenance, repairs, and a large parts inventory. Mercedes-Benz Van Center is your Sprinter Van headquarters. 901-237-9302 or sprintervans.com. Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis, part of the Tag Truck Center family. Driven to keep you on the road.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
It's that time of year again. He's on the loose. You know, I'm talking about Sheldon Rosengarten, Mark Spensdorf, selling houses left and right and spraying golf courses, balls on the golf course, every which way, too. He devotes his time to taking care of his clients, and that's why his listings sell so quickly at unbelievable prices. Just look at some of the testimonials on MemphisRelocate.com or on his social media sites, because he's got this incredibly successful strategic marketing program, but it means he cannot practice. So he's awful at golf, but he gets you to the closing table. All you got to do to check it out is go to MemphisRelocate.com, or you can call 483-0546. All the pros, when they retire, they give him their business because he knows They'll take care of all their clients. 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. Let's head to first New Orleans. That's Corey Glore, the voice of the Tulane Green Wave, and Bruce Howard still celebrating. You're going to get Corey back. Still celebrating because his Golden Hurricane are heading to Indy for the NIT semifinals, the Final Four. First off, let me just say, I thought it was amazing, the atmosphere that I saw in there. I know Wichita State brought a bunch of folks, but that had to be a lot of fun last night, and congrats on getting to Indy.
Yeah, thank you very much. I had nothing to do with it. But,
right.
But yeah, it was a great atmosphere. As you mentioned, Wichita brought a bunch of people, and it was pretty special. And it was kind of an interesting game in that Tulsa had a 24-point lead in the first half, and
right.
As you know, it can evaporate, and it did. And Wichita State had a lead late. Tulsa somehow found a way at the end of the game. So yeah, it's going to be special going to Indianapolis because the Final Four for the NCAA is there as well.
Huh.
So it'll be a very interesting town.
I agree. And it's Hinkle, right? That's where they're playing this thing, the old Hoosiers site?
Yes, correct. Yeah, it'll be there. And, the semis are there, and then the finals are at another location, which is owned by the Indiana Pacers. So I'm not sure exactly why that's that way, but yeah.
So that would be you're going to be doing it the old Conseco. So you're going to get some Hinkle, and then you're going to get the championship game at the Pacers.
Yeah,
place.
but the Hinkle Fieldhouse. I asked a couple of the players afterward, "Have you ever seen Hoosiers?" And surprisingly enough, neither of the guys I talked to have seen Hoosiers. And I'm like,
Crazy.
Well, you're probably fixing to see it because I know Coach will probably play at least a piece of it to you guys to kind of give you a little idea.
I think it's great. First off, the NIT is interesting. It's morphed. Memphis won a championship in Madison Square Garden. They won a championship during COVID in Dallas area, and then we played at 3 different places there. And now it's at Indy. And I think, Corey Glore, you weigh in. I think it's good for the conference because last night, we knew for sure there was going to be a representative of the American in the NIT Final Four.
Well, I don't think it hurts, certainly. I think now what the NIT has turned into is essentially it's become like a mid-major championship. And so I guess this is where the American can now stack itself up a little bit against teams of conferences of this ilk, and especially when you don't have, the portal doesn't open until after the Final Four, and so you don't have opt-outs here. Guys will play in this, and these are going to be the full actual teams here that are playing. So to have Tulsa be a representative here in the Final Four, it certainly doesn't hurt the look of the league when you're playing against leagues that are kind of on your same wavelength right now.
And I think it's good for fans if they're hungry. Like I hate to say it, I don't think Memphis would have turned out like they did last night in Tulsa. But Bruce, I got to ask you, was that the best crowd you've had in years?
In terms of the numbers, no, because with the NIT, you have to announce only scanned tickets. Only the number of bodies in the place. Whereas, in the normal regular season game, you're announcing people there plus all the season ticket holders that didn't show up and the comps and all that sort of stuff. So numbers-wise, no, but excitement-wise, bodies, yes. I mean, as good as it's been, going all the way back to the Bill Self days when they regularly sold out 8,355, 8,355 used to be a fairly regular sellout in those days. So not quite back to that level, but it certainly was great. And anybody that bought a ticket, of course, got down low, very close. So it was a really, it was a really good, loud crowd, which I think it was cool.
It looked good on TV for sure. I know, Corey, you cannot be happy today with the release yesterday that Rowan Brambaugh got into the portal. Any chance to get him back? Where do you think he's headed? What kind of NIL money you think he's going to get?
To be honest on my part here, I have not heard anything officially, at least on Tulane campus, about that. And so I saw the same stuff as you did yesterday. It wouldn't be a surprise. I mean, the last 2 years of what he's done at Tulane, he's definitely warranted the opportunity to play at another, Power 5 level here for what would be his 5th year. I know Tulane is making a pretty hard push to try and put stuff together for him, but I totally would understand if he's not here. I mean, he's a Northeast kid. He started, he got to Tulane from the Big East at Georgetown. He had a redshirt year at Texas the year before that. And so, I've talked with him a little bit. I think there's an appeal of going back into the home neck of the woods there in the Northeast. I mean, he's a legit great point guard, and so he's going to have a lot of suitors here in the Big East and the ACC. Big Ten, SEC, Big 12. Those are possibilities, and so he could pretty much go, I feel like, where he wants. I do know Tulane is trying to do what they can to keep him around, but obviously they're going to be fighting uphill.
Maybe he'll end up at Providence then with Hodgson, who left USF. We thought he was going to Syracuse. Bruce Howard, no shock there, right?
No shock, and he's a guy who's a very good coach, very hard-nosed guy, and I'm sure he'll do well at Providence. The shock was that he didn't go to Syracuse because he's a Buffalo guy. He's a Central New York guy. And at one time, he had even said that Syracuse would be my dream job, but obviously they didn't come through with whatever he wanted, and so he's at Providence, which I don't think is as good a job as Syracuse, but,
I agree,
whatever.
But I'm not so sure Syracuse didn't want somebody from the family in McNamara. That could have been a part of that. Your thoughts, Corey, on Hodgson, and by the way, the best recruiting line, he said, you want to know if I'm a good recruiter? Take a look at my wife, Jordan. I thought that was pretty good. She is a good-looking woman. But Corey, your thoughts, because you weren't here last week, on Hodgson and on Charlotte firing Aaron Fern.
I was shocked by the Charlotte fire, the fact that they brought Wes Miller back to North Carolina. We'll see how that clicks. It will all depend on the investment that they start pouring into new AD there, and so there definitely seems to be a push to up that there. Now, in terms of Brian Hodgson, no one's surprised. We were talking about it in Birmingham a couple weeks ago. He was going to go to the Northeast when he could, or upstate New York, and that wasn't the first option, so he goes to Providence. Now we'll see how South Florida fills that position. They just hired away Alabama's women's basketball coach to fill their void yesterday. So we know the crazy money that they have somehow started throwing around at South Florida. Who knows who USF might be able to land here, but I'm not surprised about Hodgson.
Interesting stuff. Corey Glore, Bruce Howard, our last round table. If you guys are amenable, will be next week.
Yeah, I'll be in Indianapolis. Yeah, be in Indianapolis. Hopefully, I'll be available. But maybe I'll be able to talk to you from Hinkle Fieldhouse.
That'd be cool. I would take that. Thank you much, guys. We appreciate it. And our final segment brought to you by Southern Security. Southern Security, by now, is a not-for-profit credit union. That's what they are, and what that means is they can do things banks cannot. They are. Well, they've been voted the best credit union the last 6 years. They're working on a seventh, and the truth of the matter is they get the best technology. They do. They have the best rates because they're not-for-profit, and they've got 7 locations. So if you're a small business owner, maybe you're buying your first house, they could be your trusted financial partner so easily with those great rates. All you got to do is go to southernsecurity.org, or you can actually call and talk to a team member at 901-452-7900. They're big Tiger supporters. They're also a part of 901 Women. Southern Security is your home team credit union, federally insured by NCUA. Johnny Radio's right around the corner. The usual culprits tomorrow. We'll start with Pete Pranica. We'll work our way forward. Tom Hart will join us. And then Jarvo. So it'll be busy tomorrow, but you've got Johnny Radio right around the corner, so keep it right.